Hi everyone, my name's Jordan and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my September TBR. This month is going to be ambitious. I fully expect to not get to all the books on this list, but I'm going to do my best. So let's just get into it. First, I'm going to do my buddy reads because there are quite a few. First, I'm continuing on with the grimoire read-along of Demon in White by Christopher Rocchio. This grimoire Discord is run by Tall Guy Reads, Rekindled Reader, RJ Reads, and Your Brain on Books. And together they are running this Sun Eater read-along, and we are now on Demon in White, which is the third full novel in the series. This series is shaping up to become one of the best sci-fi series I've ever read. It follows a man named Hadrian who starts out in the first book by telling the reader that he has destroyed a sun, which in turn wipes out an entire alien race as well as billions of humans. And it is him telling this story. And it is this wonderfully crafted story of like the unreliable narrator, and you really get this like full deep dive into Hadrian's mind, and it is fabulous. And Christopher Rocchio's prose is some of the best I've ever read. This series is top notch. I will be doing a Howling Dark live stream over on Tall Guy Reads channel, Alex, and we will be doing a full spoilery discussion. So keep your eye out for that because I will be posting about it soon. And I will link Alex's channel below. Speaking of Alex, we've decided to do 2 mini buddy reads this month. He's also reading Demon in White because he is one of the owners of this Discord that is hosting this read-along. We are also going to be reading Malice by John Gwynne. This is the first book in the Faithful and the Fallen series. Recently, everyone on the Grimoire Discord did this like thing where they all chose each other's TBR, and Alex got Malice. And I've been meaning to read this, so I was like, hey, you want to read it with me? So we're going to read it together. It's a chunker, and I've heard that this first book is kind of rocky. I've heard that there's a lot of characters introduced, and it's kind of hard to follow in this first book, but that as the books progress, they get better and better. Being a fantasy reader, I'm kind of used to first books not being as good. I'm currently reading Grace of Kings, which is the first book in the Dandelion Dynasty, and it is kind of boring. More on that in my wrap-up because I think I'll finish it in the next couple days. But everyone assures me that it gets better, so I have faith. I'm not giving up, and I'm planning on doing the same with this. Even if I don't love Malice, I'm going to still continue because I've heard they just get better. But I have also seen some people love Malice. I know Venus over on Venus Escapes to Read just recently read this, and she loved it. So here's hoping I also love it. And another buddy read with Alex. Why have we done this to ourselves? We're going to be reading Fool's Errand by Robin Hobb. This is the first book in the Tawny Man trilogy. Alex and I kind of both accidentally aligned on our Robin Hobb reading journey, so we've kind of agreed to try to pace ourselves with each other as we finish the whole Realm of the Elderlings. If we're successful with that is yet to be seen. We will be doing a Live Ship Traders spoilery live show trilogy discussion tonight as you're watching this over on Alex's channel, so go check that out. It is going to be a blast, I think. Fool's Errand, I know next to nothing about. I know that Tawny Man is a shorter trilogy than Live Ship Traders, which is kind of a relief, and also I'm very excited. But I really don't know much about it except that we're back with Fitz and the Fool, and I love them. So I'm super excited to get into this. I'm excited to see if there's any tie-ins with Live Ship Traders in this series. I've heard a lot of good things about this series, so I'm super excited to get into it, and I'm just excited to read more Robin Hobb. It's been like 2 or 3 months, and that is far too long. Far too long. My last buddy read of the month is not with Alex. It is with Kyle over on Read by Kyle, and that is Fires of Heaven by Robert Jordan. We are continuing. We also accidentally lined up where we were with reading Wheel of Time. When we kind of started chatting over BookTube, we realized that we were both just finishing Shadow Rising. and neither of us are loving this series so far. I don't hate it, it's just Robert Jordan's writing is buck wild. I have a full review, spoiler-free, of Shadow Rising. I'll link above. I'm not loving them, and I'm very apprehensive going into Fires of Heaven. However, I will say, the first 4 I read physically, and I'm going to do the audiobooks for Fires of Heaven, so I'm hoping that listening to it will maybe make my experience a little more enjoyable. That's my hope, at least. Like, I'm hoping that just listening to it while I'm working and at a fast speed is okay, because I'll miss some of those annoying writing devices that Robert Jordan uses. So I'm hoping that listening to it will kind of make it more enjoyable, because reading it physically is just not working at all. All right, that is all of my buddy reads. Next up, I have Babble by R.F. Kuang. This just came out at the end of September, and I am so pumped to read it. I'm hoping to get to it this month. There are 2 books releasing this month that I also really want to get to, and I already have some chunky books in the lineup. So essentially, a lot of these next ones are going to be whichever one I feel like reading. If I'm lucky, I'll get to all of them, but I don't know how busy my month is going to be. So those buddy reads are must reads. These next following books are going to be either I'm going to try to listen to it on audiobook, or I'm going to hope to get to the physical copy. Again, we will see. This is a dark academia book written by the same author that wrote the Poppy War trilogy. I liked the Poppy War trilogy, but it didn't click for me like it did for some other people. But this is essentially a completely different genre. Still fantasy, but like a different style. It's dark academia, and I'm very excited for it. It's about a man who lives in Britain who is Chinese British, and he is a translator for the British Empire. And he kind of has to grapple with his role in colonialism and all of that kind of stuff. And there's magic. So I'm very excited to read this. This book is just stunning. Like, it's such a beautiful book. I'm so excited I own it, and I'm very excited to read it. Another book releasing in September is Fairy Tale by Stephen King. This is Stephen King's newest book, and it is supposed to be high fantasy. Automatically had to grab that up. I know a lot of my friends are going to be reading this book this month, so I'm hoping to also read it this month. That's the hope. I don't know if I'll get to it this month. If I don't, it will definitely be an October read, but I'm hoping to. Again, I do not know a whole lot about this book because I like going into these kind of books without knowing a whole lot. All I know is it's high fantasy. It's called Fairy Tale. It's by Stephen King. That's all I need to know to read it. I have it pre-ordered, so I'll be getting a physical copy, and I hope to read that in September. The second September release that I have pre-ordered is Nona the Ninth by Tam Zamir. This is one of my most anticipated reads of the year after reading Harrow the Ninth. Harrow the Ninth became one of the best books I've read all year, and I just reread Gideon the Ninth in preparation for Nona the Ninth, so I'm going to reread Harrow the Ninth as well this month, or that is the hope. Nona the Ninth is the 3rd book in the series. I'm not going to go into what it's going to be about because a whole lot of spoilers, but Gideon the Ninth is a story about a space world where there are 9 planets, and each planet is referred to as a house, and each house is called upon to send a necromancer to the first house to compete to become a lictor to God, which is basically like his warriors. Each necromancer needs a cavalier, which is basically a bodyguard, to go with them to this first house. So Harrow is the necromancer of the 9th house, and she chooses Gideon to be her cavalier. And together they must go compete to allow Harrow to become a lictor. But they don't really know what they're getting into, and it is a wild ride from beginning to end. It's hysterical. Tam Zamir's banter between characters is so funny. I find myself like cackling out loud all the time. And the story is so nuanced and so well written and so confusing in the best way. And Harrow the Ninth just upped all of that to 1,000, and phenomenal book. So I'm so excited for Nona the Ninth. This will for sure be a high priority this month. Speaking of Gideon the Ninth, also on this list, I'm going to be rereading Harrow the Ninth, but I'm going to be doing that as an audiobook. So that will definitely happen this month. I'm going to hopefully fit it in within some of my audiobooks that I'm going to talk about next. So one of the audiobooks I want to listen to this month is Finding Me by Viola Davis. This is her memoir. I don't read a whole lot of memoirs, but I've recently seen Venus over on Venus Escapes to Read and Kyle over on Read by Kyle read this memoir and say that it's phenomenal. And I love Viola Davis, and it's also a kind of short book. So I'm going to listen to the audiobook, and I'm hoping that it is great. I think that memoir audiobooks are really fun because they're normally narrated by the person that the memoir is about. So I'm excited to read this. And the third audiobook I hope to get to this month is Caspians War by James S.A. Corey. I recently put up a video of series check-in, basically how I'm doing on all the series I said I would start this year, and one of them was The Expanse. And I have started it, and it kind of reminded me that I should try to continue it. So I've read Leviathan Wakes, which is the first book, and I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. So next I'm going to try out Caspians War. I'm going to try the audiobook with this one and see if I kind of connect with the story more that way. This series has one plot line in it that I find so interesting, and I think that their writing style is very good and very well written. The science is there. There was just one point of view I really didn't enjoy, and it was like half the book. So I'm hoping that that kind of either works better for me in Caspians War or is lessened or something, and I hope that we are focused on this one plot line that I really enjoyed. So excited to continue in that series, a little nervous but also very excited. So that is my incredibly ambitious TBR for September. I really hope I can get to all of these. There's just, every time I make a TBR video, I have this like wonderfully organized list in my phone of my TBR, and every time I make a TBR video, I'm like, dang, there's so many books I want to read. I just want to read constantly. I want to be reading all the time, but work, I guess I read at work too. This past week I've been out of town seeing family and stuff, so I've hardly read it all in the past week, so I just feel really behind. So I'm here, I'm ready to catch up, and excited for what September will bring. Even if I only read 3 of the books on this list, I'm so excited for all of them, so I know it'll be fun. Please go check out all of the channels I mentioned during this video. I will link all of them down below. They're all incredible content creators. They all read fantasy. They're all so fun. Thank you guys for watching. If you like my channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below some books you're planning on reading in September and some of the new releases you're most excited for coming out in September. If you really like my content, you can hit the notification bell to be notified every time I post new videos. Thank you guys for watching. As always, your support means the world to me, and until next time, thank you guys.